inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future, and life. Let this light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, 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 bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future, and life. Let this light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, inside, yeah. Inside, inside.
Hello, Shazia.
Bringing hope and make you feel
Amanda, I see
alright.
you. You're welcome.
Rainbow,
Hello, thank you guys for joining.
promise, the future, and life. Let this light that's within me shine to the whole
Okay,
world.
guys, please share the live. Share the live to people.
Let the
Wealth,
dawn
I
of
see you.
a
Eric,
new
you're
day
welcome.
bring understanding and love. Oh,
I see. Thank you. You're welcome. Parker, I see you.
inside,
Charlotte, you're welcome. Mamu Sally, I see you. Anne, you're welcome.
bringing hope
Nicest
and make
Faith, I
feel
see you.
alright.
Marie, welcome, welcome, welcome. Mila, thanks for joining.
Rainbow,
User 1234, I don't know if that's your name. You're welcome.
and life.
Amazing topic today.
Let this light that's within me shine to
Cause
the whole
Mila.
world.
Okay, I think it's Mila for Christ. I see you anyways.
Let the dawn of
Let's share
a
the
new
live.
day
Let's share the live to our friends, our followers to be here today. Do me that favor. Nikki, I see you. I don't know who this person is.
Inside,
Oh, okay.
inside, bringing hope and make you feel
Lisa, I see you.
Rainbow, the promise, the future, and
I see you, Lover Creek. Thank you for joining. Meets Cool, I see you. I don't want to pronounce the whole thing, so I don't call it. I don't pronounce it wrongly. Thank you so much for joining. Tawi Brown, I see you. Thanks for joining, Rosaline. You're welcome. Let's share the live. Let's share the live to our friends to be part of Insights today. Very interesting topic. Laraba, I see you. Laraba, do me a favor and share to friends. Let them be part of this live today. Naeem Khan, I see you.
The promise, the future, and life.
Ambassadoru, I see you.
Let this light that's
Yeah, you're welcome.
shine to the whole
I
world.
see you. Thanks for joining.
Light, let the dawn of a new day
Paddy, I see you. Yes, let's share the live. Let's share the live and invite more friends. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you all. Thank you. Good day to you. Thank you so much for sharing, Mila. Thank you. It's Wad, I see you. And Astina, you're welcome. Thank you for always joining. I really appreciate you. One of these days, I hope I'll be able to hear your views. Thank you, mighty woman. Thanks for joining. I'm looking at the time. Thank you for liking the live. Thank you so much. Let's share to about 20 people. Let's share to about 20 people. Let them be part of this live today. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, mighty woman. I hope your week, your day has been good. Oh, thank you so much. Denise, I see you. Thanks for joining. I know. And happy July, mighty woman. Happy July. Nicest Faith, I see you. Thank you so much for always joining me on Insight with FunmiRoyal this evening. It's a Thursday, and please, guys, I think we still have a couple of hours. To the people in United Kingdom, if you have not casted your vote, please, off you go now. Off you go now. I think it's going to close. The polling stations will be closing around 10 p.m. So it's not too late. Get your ID. Don't forget your ID. And I think there was a letter sent to you. You have to hold that as well. So please go out there and cast your vote. Let us do this for all of us, for generations yet unborn even. So please, if you've forgotten or today is 4th of July. So please, if you're in United Kingdom, find your ID card, find your letter, go to that polling station and cast your vote. It's not too late. It's not too late. You still have a couple of hours. If you're still at work, please hurry up. Hurry up and go cast your vote. Thank you so much, mighty woman, for liking the live. Thank you. I did. Mila, thanks for asking. Me and my husband went earlier to do that. So please, it's not too late. You have a couple of hours to do that. And of course, the results will come flying in before we know it. And my prayer for United Kingdom is that God's will be done. Whoever God has ordained for this year or for the next, in line, that's my prayer, that a person, will be, because it is well. We need a change in the economy, and whoever, God feels will be the best to bring that change should be the winner. That's our prayers. I'm not really a politician, but then this is my duty, as a citizen, you have to do that. And like I said, it's 4th of July. To those in United Kingdom, please go and vote. Go and cast your vote. It's not too late. So anyways, you guys are welcome to Insight with FunmiRoyal this beautiful Thursday. I love it on Thursday because it's just one day and then your weekend is just here. As if, some people work throughout the weekend, so don't mind me. I'm just getting excited. Thank you. I hope the week has been good for you, and happy July to you once again. If you didn't join me on Monday, because Monday was the 1st, so we thank God really for another month, the 7th month of this year. The year is gradually crawling to an end. I pray that, whatever it is we're trusting God for, we will still get it in this year. So please, don't lose hope. It's never too late with God. You know that. Never too late with God. He's never late. He's always right on time. So let's keep the hope alive. Thank you so much. Thank you for liking the live. Please, let's share to our friends to be part of this interesting topic today. If you can see on the screen, I had to put it there so that as many people that will be joining in whilst, I'm giving the talk would have an idea of what I'm talking about today. Louis, I see you. Laura, win-win. Thank you. It's all win-win for us. Thank you so much. Oh, your birthday is 20th of July. Happy birthday in advance. I hope I don't miss it. So I can, even if it's a song, let me come and sing happy birthday to you. I wish you all the best. This year is going to be the least you've ever experienced. I tell you, mighty woman, God bless your new age. So we're waiting. I hope there's going to be party. Me, I love cake. I love cake. So you have to post my cake to me. I don't want virtual cake. Oh, mighty woman. Thank you so much. Louis, I see you. God bless you. You're welcome to Inside with FunmiRoyal today. So Louis, please do me a favor. Can you share to about 20 friends? You can do more, but at least, let's start with 20 people and let's see how far we can go tonight. Genesis Hair and Beauty, thank you so much for joining. So without wasting much time, time waits for no one. I'll go straight into the talk today. And just to put perspective to the talk, and I'd love to hear your submission. What do you take, what's your take on this topic? Because this topic, it's been since the world, I don't know, since God knows forever. But once in a while it's good to always talk about things like this, because we're just living life and we just expect it to be there at all the time. But we know that things are never like that. We have challenges that will come and test and try your marriage, your love for one another, and things like that. So let's look at this perspective today. And if you're on the FY page hearing me and you don't feel like coming down here, it's all good. At least we're feeling you from way up there. Please, let's self-reflect, like I would say, and let's check our relationship with our spouses. Where are we when we're talking about marriage and love? Marriage and love. Interesting. Pete, I see you. Akosua, you're welcome. Dr. Samba, I see you. So welcome once again. If you're just joining, please help share the live to as many people as possible. Let them be part of this live today. And thank you guys for liking the live. Angel Chioma, I see you. Thank you so much. Angel, please do me a favor. Just share with about 20 of your friends. That's all I'm asking for to be part of this talk today. So today I want to talk about a subject that is fascinating to every human that is alive, and this one cut across gender, race, culture, society. It's been around for centuries. Marriage and love. Thank you so much. So it's a combination of two interesting topics, actually. So these two concepts are deeply intertwined and they play a very crucial role in our marriages. It really does. And I'm going to be breaking it down. So understanding the relationship can help us build stronger, more fulfilling partnerships. I believe that strongly. Timo, thanks for joining. So let's look into the essence of marriage and love, their interconnection, and how they can cultivate them to our marriage relationship, how we can cultivate that into our marriage relationship. In case, some will come and say, once upon a time, I was in love with my spouse, but these days I feel like I'm living with a roommate, So let's turn back things, let's bring back that love into that marriage. To every relationship, there has to be a bedrock of ideology that keeps it going, and we have to be deliberate about things in order to keep enjoying that love in our marriages. Otherwise, love is like a flame. If you don't fan it, it can just die out if care is not taken. So let us look at the essence of love. Thank you so much, Angel Choma. I hope you stay around because when I give my talk, I always bring people into the box to hear their perspective on the topic. So please don't go away. If you have to get a cup of tea or orange juice or something or popcorn, I don't know, just get something, and please let's just do this talk together. And the essence of this is so we can enjoy our marriages, our relationship, and not endure just because it's always good to talk about these things. So this is a platform where we can talk about certain topics, where marriage is concerned. So thank you, Choma, for liking the live as well. So the essence of love. Thank you. God bless you, Louis, as well. Love is a complex and versatile emotion that can be difficult to define. Sometimes, especially maybe the male gender, when you talk about love, it's like they show it, they don't have to talk about it, but then it has to be balanced. However, we can understand it through its different forms. So I thought about this, like, how do I break it down for us to kind of understand? Because there's so many kinds of love. And I tell you, all those kind of love is meant to be in a marriage relationship. Thank you so much for liking the live, Louise. So I'm going to be telling us about 4 types of love. Some of you might have heard about them before. Some, it might be new to you. Like I say, we're always here to learn. I'm here to learn from you. You're here to learn from me. We learn together, we grow together, and make our world even better to live in. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the Eros love, which is known as the romantic love. Blue moon, can you see him standing out? I don't know where the song came from here. Anyways, romantic love, which is the Eros. So this is the passionate physical love that often ignites romantic relationship. So it involves attraction and a deep desire to connect with another person. So if you're married and you're on this platform, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. So this is Eros, romantic love between a husband and wife. And also, well, some people might be in courtship at the moment. Of course, you feel this love, romantic love, but we're not going to, break the boundaries. We know there are boundaries until you seal the deal before you do the deal. Yeah, I'm speaking in parables to those who understand. Okay, so that's the first kind of love, Eros love, romantic love. Another kind of love is a friendship love, which is called philia. Thank you so much for joining. I see you. It's called philia, friendship love. I mean, your spouse have to be your friend anyway, so this love is still needed as far as I'm concerned. So this type of love is based on mutual respect, shared interest, and deep friendship. Like with this person, you talk about everything. I mean, everything. If your body, your thoughts, your feelings, everything you share with this person, this is friendship love. It can happen between a husband and wife, and of course you might have some friends, they're like your besties, you share things with, but that one too has a limit, so to say. But when you're talking about philia, that friendship love in a marriage setting, we're talking about this person with mutual respect. You have shared interests with them, deep connection, in terms of friendship. So it's all about companionship and enjoying each other's company. Like you don't get tired of being in each other's space and all of that. With their good, their bad, their ugly, you just love to be around them. That is what I'm talking about. Because when you're talking about marriage relationship, this thing is supposed to be till death do you part, or till forever. So if your spouse is not your friend, then who is your friend? Listen, yes, husbands, listen, wives, who is your friend? Don't tell me it's one sister or one brother or one somebody somewhere. Your spouse. In fact, if it's not, I've sanctioned it today. Your spouse should be your best friend. Yeah, I know. You can have bestie or whatever, but your spouse should be your best friend. Someone you enjoy their company. And if you're the type that has been married for years and years and years, and you feel you're losing that friendship, come closer. Let's talk about it, because we need to fan that flame. It has to go up again. So the third love I'm going to talk about is agape love. This one is very common. I believe it's called unconditional love. This is agape love, unconditional love. Agape is selfless. When you're in the company of your spouse, you are selfless. What is bugging them is bugging you. If they're happy, you're happy. If they're sad, you're sad. Marriage is a glorious gift from God when you're with the right person. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Mila for Christ, for that. Definitely, when you're with the right person. As long as you said I do, something happened for you to say I do. You want to spend the rest of your life with this person. But we know that life happens, but we shouldn't allow life to put a wedge between us. We should allow life to happen and we tackle it together, okay, without losing any love and all of those affection, friendship, and what have you. So, agape is selfless, unconditional love. It's about putting your partner's need above your own, sacrificial, and loving them without expecting anything in return. You got to have that person in your life, your spouse. They're the ones that, God forbid, something bad were to happen, you would have put yourself in front to cover them, to shield them before you actually think of your safety. That is agape love, unconditional love. Whether they do you good, bad, ugly, whatever, you're still in love with them. You still love them for who they are. That is unconditional love, known as agape love. Thank you so much for liking the live. Let's share to our friends to be part of this. I do these days is suspicious. Well, that's another topic. We all know the world as we have it today is different from when I got married over 25 years ago. It's different now. To be honest, I see all sorts in the society when you talk about marriage, and I'm short of words. That's just it. So the last kind of love I'm going to talk about is the storge. It's called storge, and this is known as familial love. And this is the love that exists within families, between parents and children or siblings. So even with your spouse, you're supposed to love them like they're your brother, like they're your sister. Yeah. It's a natural, instinctive affection that you have. Whether you're a man, you have it. Whether you're a woman, you're supposed to have it. Because even if you don't have siblings, you have an uncle, you have a parent, somebody gave birth to you, or some people gave birth to you. Yes, Mila for Christ. Don't be deceived by this look. Yeah, I know. It is well. And, the kind of love you share with your children, it's a natural kind of love called storge. So I just leave it with that and then try to move further. Yes, Mila for Christ. Life was still very okay then. We didn't have all this social media influencing anybody. All we had back then, when we were courting was the village. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Movie fantastic. I see that you're welcome to Insight as well. So back then there wasn't so much influence from social media. I think everybody were more focused. Things were different. I must say, but these days, like I said, please don't get me started. So in a marriage, all these forms of love can play a role at different times, contributing to a rich and dynamic relationship. Sometimes your spouse might really get on your nerves, and all you want is your friend. You just want your friend. You're not in the romantic mood, so all you need is a friend you want to offload, to talk to, and yet your spouse is bringing a romance and all of that. So we need to know when to show what. But all of this love I've mentioned today should exist in a marriage relationship. And if it's not, anyone that is missing, please sit down with your spouse and talk about things. Let me not jump the gun, so I'll just start build up on this topic today. In case you're just joining, the topic is marriage and love. So I've talked about the essence of love. Let's look at the essence of marriage. The essence of marriage. Marriage is a committed partnership between a husband and wife who choose to share their lives by living together. Living together. Oh, because you find out some people, they'll tell you they've been married for 10 years and they've been living apart. Maybe they only see once in a blue moon. Hey, I don't understand that kind of marriage. Oh. Is that a long distance marriage, or what do you want to call it? It is well. It is, when they come together to say, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you. You're going to spend the rest of your life with me. That is the essence of marriage. It's more than a legal contract. It's a covenant that involves emotional, physical, and spiritual bond between a man and a woman, husband and wife. So, Key aspects of marriage includes commitment. You know, when you're talking about marriage and love, this person you have professed your love to, what is expected of you, what is expected of your spouse, you know. So aspects of marriage that is very, very important. I'll say first one is commitment. Marriage is built on a foundation of commitment, and in order for you to commit your whole life to somebody, you just have to love them. You know, it involves a promise to stay together through all of life's ups and downs. Challenges will come, like I always say, challenges will come to try to pull you apart, challenges will come to try to fight both of you. But like I would say, don't fight one another, fight that challenge, not one another. And how can you do that? Communication, sit and talk about things, because sometimes you just see your spouse as your enemy. Sometimes you see them as your enemy, and you just lose the will to fight for that marriage or to fight for that relationship. Well, may that not be our portion. And if we're there, please let's take a step back and reevaluate. Let us examine, let us reflect, and do the needful, because there's always solution to every negativity. There's always a positivity, but sometimes we're so overwhelmed by the negative we can't even see the positive. So let's be mindful. Again, when you're talking about the aspects of marriage, we look at trust. Trust is essential for a healthy marriage. Look, it's hard when you build that trust. It will take time and time to build trust, but once it's broken, you can break it in a day, and it will take years again to rebuild. So let's be mindful of our actions, what we do. Can your spouse trust you? Can they close their eyes and fall and you catch them? You know, it allows partners to feel safe and secure with one another. So let's build that trust. In case you're in a marriage relationship and your trust for one another is broken, go back to the basics. How did it break? When did it break? Are you aware that it's broken? So that you can, fix it. There's always a way to fix it, please. Don't leave things, otherwise, the extreme end is always separation or divorce. And we're not here to promote that, so to say. So learn to trust one another. If the trust has been broken, there might be need for forgiveness and all of that, which I will come into shortly. So let us examine our relationship. And of course, as I'm speaking with you right now, I'm also self-reflecting whilst I say this, because it's always good to digest things and be real. Let's be real with ourselves. So another key thing when you're talking about marriage and love is communication. Open, honest, and respectful communication helps partners understand each other's needs and resolve conflicts. You're upset with me, I'm just living life. I didn't even know I've upset you. I just go eat ice cream, be happy and all. And then I just want to say, is everything okay? Did somebody upset you at work? No, it's me that's even upsetting the man. And I didn't know. He didn't say anything. He's just there moody and all. Please, sometimes we assume too much. And my people will call it see finish, because they think, I know everything about them. When they're moody, give them 5 minutes, they'll be fine. But we have to learn to talk about these things. Let's not just assume that our partner always would know what is wrong with us. And if they don't know, we even get more upset. We get so angry. Please, we don't read minds. Even if you're a mind reader, you might get it wrong sometimes. Anita, thanks for joining. Anita, let's share to our friends, about 20 people, so that they can be part of this talk. And again, this one I'm going to talk about is respect. And please, whether you're a man or a woman listening here, because I've been to some lives, they always say, man needs respect. The man needs respect. So is it the woman that needs this respect? I don't like going gender, whatever. But please, let's be mindful. Whether you're the husband or the wife, you deserve that respect. It has to be mutual. It shouldn't be one-sided. Okay, the man needs respect. So what do we give the woman? Everybody, whether a child, whether anyone in that family, deserves respect. So it has to be mutual. So please don't let it be one-sided, okay? Mutual respect is very crucial in marriage. Okay, the woman is always respecting, and the man is always disrespecting. how is there going to be love in that home? How do you expect that love to last? So let us be mindful. And all this, there's some sayings out there in the society that is not promoting love in the marriage. Rather, it breaks it down. And sometimes you allow ego, whether you're a man or a woman, ego will set in. Cheese, you're welcome. So it involves valuing each other's opinions, your feelings, and individuality. For the fact that two has become one, you're still your each individual self. And you need to respect what each person is bringing into that relationship. How you love might not be how I love. How I love might not be how you love. The bottom line is we're still loving one another. Your opinions, respect your spouse's opinions, even if it's the wrongest, I know that's not English word, wrongest opinion ever. Don't just say, shut up. What are you saying? You're talking like a fool or something. That's too much. That's too harsh. Even if it doesn't go down well with you, oh my dear, I heard what you said, but how about this one? Or okay, let's do, just even be in that moment with them, because all the time you're disrespectful, you're shunning them, you're silencing them, they might just withdraw, and of course it will affect that love that is being shown, because this person might just feel my spouse is always on my case, and we're flesh and blood. If this lingers on and on, it can kill the love both of you share for one another. Disrespect, yes, I'm telling you. Your spouse is sharing their feelings. Please feel with them. You're supposed to feel what they're feeling. You're supposed to share what they're sharing. You're supposed to be part of whatever is going on for your spouse, whether man or woman. I'm not going to be gender biased here. It goes both ways because we're human. We're both human who have decided to come together in this relationship. And as life, is happening, we have to learn to deal with it together, respectfully. Okay? And always mind each person's individuality. For the fact that I sleep this way doesn't mean you have to sleep that way. For the fact that I eat this way doesn't mean your spouse will have to eat that way. Sometimes you can eat together and be yourself, as you are together in that relationship still. And there'll be peace and harmony. The fifth thing I want to mention here about the essence of marriage, or the key aspect of marriage that we need to, bear in mind, is shared values and goals. Of course, you will have that. But you should promote love and not break you guys apart. So that's where the angle I'm coming from. Having common values, goals, helps partners to work together towards a shared future. Some partners even share profession. They work together. Maybe two doctors, they probably met in the hospital and now they're husband and wife, both doctors. And they might have shared professional goals and aspiration, like, okay, maybe when we're in our 50s, let's try to build a hospital or something. And you both think about it. That's true, we could do that. So what do? You start making plans for that future. It might just be 10 years away, you never can tell. And you start planning together. That is if you have the same kind of line of work. And apart from that, it might be other things. I remembered when I met my husband, he was singing in the choir. I was not in the choir. I used to sing in my bathroom or whatever. I just mind my own JJ and all of that. But when we met, he sing. When we're together, he would sing, I would sing. He taught me some songs back then, way back then, and then we'll sing together, we'll harmonize each other, we'll now started writing songs together, you can imagine. And then at some point, we will go and minister together, and they will call us husband and wife that sings together. Hey, we were known as the Royals back in the day, hence FunmiRoyal. I've given you the secret now. So, hello Alice, you're welcome. So you can imagine we had that, and I knew, well, there was music in me, but he helped me kind of have confidence to be able to stand and face people to sing and all. And I've been in several choirs over the years, what I meant is my grandfather was a musician, my dad sings. So, I mean, who am I not to sing? Who born me, so to say? So I can sing as well, but I wasn't in tune with my singing self as such, I just sing to myself quietly. but he helped me to bring this out, and I thank God for that. So we have the common values we shared together. He helped me on that, I worked on that, and I last a day. So I'm grateful for that. So you might have something in common with your partner that you can work on together, or you can share together, values and goals. And if you think you don't have, you're still living together. You might discover one someday. So you have to be interested in each other's lives, so to say. So thank you. Guys, don't forget to share this live to as many people. And after the talk, I will bring my puzzle. I think last week nobody got it, or is it a new one? We'll find out soon. So if you know the puzzle, you have to come up and talk. Tell me the answer so you can get the gifts today. So moving on, the interconnection between love and marriage is what I want to talk about now. Like I said earlier, they are connected. You can't talk about marriage and not bring love to it. And when you talk about love, marriage might just be around the corner. Tiwa, I see you. Beauty Life, thanks for joining. Let's like the live and share to our friends, please. Thank you so much for joining. So, the connection between love and marriage. Marriage and love are deeply, deeply interconnected. Love is the foundation that marriage is built upon, and marriage provides the structure in which love can flourish. How can you show more love? This person you've called your own, you do things for them. You can't, sometimes you can't sleep when your spouse is not around. Manager, you're welcome. Thanks for liking the live. So here's how they complement each other, in case you're wondering. Because when I was preparing for this, something at the back of my head, thank you so much, manager, was saying that everybody said, what is Funmi talking about? Love and marriage. It's money and marriage now. Money and marriage. I know. That's why I said when I fell in love, it was love for what it was. Ayonitimi, thanks for joining. How are you? You're welcome. So I know times have changed, perspective to marriage, love, all of that. In a way, maybe it has changed. I don't know. That's what I want to hear from you when I finish my talk today. So, like I said, marriage provides the structure in which love can flourish. And I'll tell you how. Love as the foundation. If you join from the beginning, this will not be strange to you. So a strong marriage begins with love. You have to love this person enough to say, you know what, I feel like I love you for the rest of my life. Why not be my husband? Why not be my wife? So love has to be that. It has to be part of that marriage relationship. Then romantic love, remember eros that I talk about, often brings people together. But it's the deeper form of love, the friendship, the philia, unconditional love, agape, and familial that I mentioned, storge, that sustains marriage over the long term. Because the truth is, like I said, I've been in marriage for 25 odd years. In fact, March, April, May, June, July. This is 25 years and 5 months. I can't believe it. Oh my God, where has the time gone? You need it. Sometimes my husband might get on my nerves, or I will get on his nerves, and then we're just friends. Okay, it's just friends. No romance, nothing. Just treat each other as friends. You see, that's kind of a love as well, the one I talked about. So all of those loves that I mentioned, storge, agape, familial, eros, is needed. Mr. T, you're welcome. Marima, I see you. So you need this to keep the love going over the years. You need it to keep it, the flames alive, to keep it burning. Because if you lose your friend in your spouse, thank you, Dave Dalf. If you lose your friend in your spouse, you will be lonely. I tell you, if you just say, right now it's just the eros love that we're just eros and that's it, no friend to talk to, nobody to show, it will be affected. The marriage relationship will be affected. Thank you so much for the gift. I see you, Dave Dow. So let's be mindful. Let's check our marriages as I give this talk, so that you can come up and share what you've observed and what you think you can take on board to help you enjoy your marriage some more. Then marriage as a commitment to love. Marriage is a commitment to love your partner every day. Every day, not on Mondays when they're nice, not on Tuesdays when they get on your nerves, you say, can't love or whatever. Even when it's challenging, it's hard. Sometimes I'm so furious. I'm fuming like this. And I just look at them and say, why am I so in love with this person? And I feel like, can't I just, get angry and not even. But then you look at them and just, they are the love of your life. So even when they're getting on your nerves, that love will not just vanish like that. And I'm telling you, there's some deep things I can't just begin to share here, and it goes either way. You just find out that, wow, that's why love is important. And all these four love that I've mentioned, you really need it. Because the time will come, it's just your friend you will see, not your lover. Something is gone wrong. It's just a friend you see. And sometimes everything is gone wrong. You just see this person as a brother. My brother, the way you treat your brother or your sister. And we're talking about your spouse here. So that love, whatever season you find yourself, you find out that any of those love still comes in handy. Okay? So it's about choosing to nurture and to grow your love over time. It has to be deliberate. You have to choose it. You have to be conscious about it. Otherwise, things happen. And love grows in marriage. I tell you, it grows in marriage. The same way it can grow, it can actually diminish if, let me not, because that's my question to us after the talk. Love grows in marriage. Marriage provides the stability and security for love to grow. As partners navigate life together, their love can deepen and evolve. I remembered this couple, they got married and life was good. After a few years they decided to start having children and life was good. They were in love and all of that. And one of them, I won't say, one of them, had an accident and they lost a limb. And the other partner, you will almost think they were the one that lost their limb. They were always looking after this person, trying to make them feel, they will tear up and things like that. The bond, that incident, though it's a bad thing, kind of brought them even closer together. When you look at them, you think they're newlyweds and now they're years in their marriage. So love grows in marriage. Things happen that will make it grow. And like I said, to balance it, things happen that might make it die, the love in there to die. But we're more of the positive vibes here. Even if the love is dead, it can be revived. Are you willing to do what it takes to revive? And I can always say that God knew that marriage was a good thing. That was why he created it. The reason why we're not seeing that goodness of marriage is because you and I were not doing what we're meant to do. I'm not going to point any accusing finger to anyone. I'm guilty, you're guilty, we're all guilty. Because there's some laid down rules of marriage we need to adhere to, we need to follow, we need to go by. Otherwise, we will see chaos. We will see the opposite of what we're meant to see truly in our marriages. So let's check ourselves. Let's self-examine. If this relationship is gone sour, how have I contributed to the sourness? Yeah. How has your spouse contributed to it? It takes two to tango. The marriage doesn't fall out of love just like that. Both of you contributed to it or not. So we need to check and be honest and be real with ourselves so that we can find a better solution. Love grows in marriage. Is our love actually growing in our marriages? Or is it dying by the day? Maybe each partner's attitude, their behavior, it's like you don't even understand them anymore, and you're beginning to have this resentment and all of that. No, we need to be careful. We don't want resentment to turn to bitterness and then it's like bye-bye, adios. No. Let us put away the pride, the ego. It's hard. It's hard because I know what I'm talking about. It is hard. But then you remember the unconditional love. Let that come to the forefront today. Let that unconditional love that you have for your spouse once upon a time, let it come back so that you can heal and let that love grow again. So cultivating love in marriage. Yes, you have to cultivate it. It's like a farmer. Imagine, that came to mind now. A farmer who has a seed and he's not putting it to the ground. He's not even thinking of the sand, fertilizer, the water, sunshine, everything. He's just holding the seed like this and waiting for it to grow into that corn or into that tomato. No, it has to be cultivated. There's work that has to go into it. Look for the best ground, make sure it's good. You have to cut away the weeds or whatever and plant it. Make sure sunlight can get there. That is work. So how do we cultivate love in our marriage? Young, I see you. Lily's Queen, thanks for joining. Thank you so much for liking the live. So to cultivate and maintain love in marriage, both partners, both, underline, capital letter, both partners need to be intentional and proactive. Both partners, two of you, not one person, because it will not be balanced. If it's one person, look, it's not balanced. It has to be balanced. So here are some practical ways to do that. This has worked for me. Sometimes we forget ourselves, but when I come back again to it like this, I just keep telling myself, look at you, look at you. So I'm not perfect, people. I'm just saying this to help all of us, help myself, even Disciple Nation, I see you. So some practical ways to cultivate love in our marriages. Prioritize your relationship is my do or die personal. There's some slangs they say as couples. If you know some, please help me type it there. Maybe I'll catch it. Prioritize your relationship. Make time for each other regularly. That's one. God will help us, because sometimes you have opposite work shifts or work schedule and it just makes it so hard. That's why I say you have to be intentional. Sit down and look at your itinerary for the week. Look at your work schedule for the week. Where is that time that fits both of us? Let's do something. So like I said, you have to sit and talk about these things. Don't just assume this person should know when I'm off. He should take me out. She should know. No, don't just sit and assume. It's not going to help anything. It's not going to build anything. So make time out for each other. Be deliberate about it. Schedule date nights or date days or date coffee time or something. Engage in shared activities. Go out together. Go to cinema together. Go swimming together. Take a walk together. Enjoy quality time together. Prioritize each other. Sometimes your spouse may feel even tired, but you know how to tickle their fancy to get them up and do something with you, and that's why it's part of the love we're talking about, building that relationship. And again, another practical way is communication. I will always say that. Communicate openly and honestly. Don't be twisting things, or don't just leave your spouse guessing all the time. It's enough headache in the world. Please say it as it is. Share your thoughts, your feelings and concerns with your partner. Who else do you want to share that with? Listen actively and empathetically to what they have to say. Don't say, oh, that's your problem, get over it, or that's your problem, deal with it. If they knew how to deal with it, they won't be sharing it with you. Or sometimes it's just their own way of bonding with you. Not that they don't even have solution, but they just want you to hear them. That's why they're your person, your personal person. Your spouse. Some women will hail their husband like this. The thing he doesn't want to do, he will do it in no time. That's your body. That's your person. I don't know how else to put it, but I bet you Lord understand what I'm trying to say. Share your feelings. No shame. Just say it as it is and be there for one another. If your spouse is going through a tough time, don't say, you know what, get over it, or something like that. No, you're not being empathetic towards them. Let them know that you care. A hug, a simple hug might be all they need, and you're just there with words and, lashing and things like that. So let's be mindful how we treat each other. Again, show appreciation and gratitude. This one, we take each other for granted. I'm guilty. My husband too is guilty. Regularly expressing appreciation to your partner is needed to fan the flame of love. Acknowledge their efforts and show gratitude for the little things they do. You finish eating, your spouse will take the plate and wash it up and whatever. Just say, oh, thank you, honey, for whatever. Thank you. Not that, hey, I've taken your plate now, you didn't even say thank you, or I've taken it, you know. Sometimes we just take each other for granted, and we need to step back a bit and, you know, reevaluate things. If you think that love is dying, what is killing it? You know, what is that thing that you both are doing that is not allowing that love to grow? Those are things you need to talk about. Those are things you need to tackle so that you can both enjoy that marriage and feel that love for one another again. Another thing I'll mention is support each other. I cannot overemphasize this. Like I said, for the fact that you have become one with your spouse, you're still an individual person. You have your goals, your dreams, and things like that. However, be each other's biggest cheerleader. Each other. If everybody's booing your spouse, you should not join everybody to boo your spouse. You should you should by yourself, join yourself and encourage them. Come on, go, you can do it. You know, I'm rooting for you, whatever it is. Be each other's biggest cheerleader. Don't let your spouse be looking for you amongst the people cheering or not cheering them. Please, it's very important. I've heard cases where spouse will say everything I do is like I'm just on my own. He doesn't understand or she doesn't understand. Why can't they just, and then this person said, if you can't even support me, just leave me to it, because they're not getting what they want from their spouse, and it could be very frustrating. And it's not like you want to fall out of not getting what they want from their spouse, and it could be very frustrating. And it's not like you want to fall out of it's when I do the thing by myself, I struggle and I do it, and now I'm successful. That's when my spouse wants to be part of it. Why do they do that? And she was so bitter. And you can imagine, why not be there when they're struggling through whatever it is? Because when they win, you both win. When they're struggling, struggle with them. Let them, help them even find solution to whatever. I don't know what it might be. Instead of saying, I'm not in support, do whatever, da 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 da. And now when you see that they're successful, now you want to share that. You want to be part of it because it's a success. That is being selfish. That is not a good way to encourage your spouse. So if you're the spouse that does that, please let today be the last day. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for liking the live. So support your partner's dreams and goals and be there for them during the tough times. That's why they have you. That's why they've chosen you to do this life called life, called marriage with them. And please, let's not disappoint our spouse. They left their mom and dad, they left their siblings to be with us. And likewise, we should be their everything, really. It could be tasking, it could be demanding, because as you're their everything, they are your everything as well. So you're both in this together. Then again, resolving conflicts constructively. If you don't do it constructively, it can drain that love out of that marriage. I'm telling you. How do you resolve conflict? Pause for a second. When was the last time you had a conflict? How were you able to resolve it? Or is the conflict still there? I wonder. How do you intend to resolve it? By avoiding each other? By being in denial? I don't know, but like I said, for every problem, there's always a solution. That's if we're looking for one. So, conflicts are inevitable. They would come. 25 years. If I was keeping tab of conflicts, I don't think they will have to go to other planets and bring papers to manufacture for me to be writing the conflicts we've had to go through over those years. And this is just me, 25 years plus. There's so many others who are in 40 years relationships, 60 years even. Hey, tell me, I don't know. So we have to learn to handle conflicts constructively, because they're inevitable. They will come. As you're resolving one, another one will surface. As you're resolving that, another one will surface. So we just have to keep it going instead of fighting each other. Oh, I see you, teacher Johnny. Thanks for joining. So how you handle them, it matters. It matters. Don't be adding salt to injury. Don't be flaming unnecessary fires. Let it quench. Approach disagreement with a calm and respectful attitude. You will be angry. You will be fuming. But be mindful. Be mindful. You're entitled to your feelings and emotion, but we don't want to hurt the other person whilst we're at it. So let us be respectful in our attitude. Let us be calm. It's the wrong time to be calm when you're angry and it's like they're not hearing you. You just want to, let's pause. Sometimes you might have to walk away. It may appear rude, but for the sake of sanity, for the sake of peace, you may have to walk away sometimes and then come back and revisit it in a more calm and more respectful attitude. God will help us really. Focus on finding solutions rather than winning arguments. Hey, I told you so. Did I not say da da da? The deed has been done already. Let's swallow the I told you so's. Yes, when things are calmer and you're laughing about that thing, maybe you can say I told you so. They won't feel hurt. But when the thing is fresh, and the first thing that comes out from your mouth is, I told you so. I told you not to do that. I da 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 da. How do you think they're broken already? And now you're adding that. I don't know how love can actually stay in that situation. So let's be mindful that we don't want to win arguments all the time. Let's find solutions. It's always better that way. Then keep the romance alive. We'll talk about this. For those just joining, we're talking about marriage and love. How do we maintain that? Keep the romance alive. Don't let the spark fade. Guys, I'm not sure I want to go into this topic, but anyways, don't let the spark fade, because sometimes it fades, and that's just the truth. Sometimes it could carry on for months, and things happen. Life happens. But at some point, you will have to talk about it. At some point, you will have to face it. Stop being in self-denial and face it. I think I shared a few weeks back here that when I started seeing the first signs of menopause for women, I'm like, what on earth is going on here? There's some things you feel, it's still far, far, far away from you. So you don't even read up on it. It's what you hear personally. You just, And I started feeling all of this. I'm like, what's happening here? I just didn't want anyone near me. I wasn't pregnant or anything else. My days are gone, so to say. And I started reading up on them, like, oh, that's why. So I had to say to myself, this thing is just feelings that is overtaking me. Now I have to overtake these feelings. It took a while, don't get me wrong. It took a while, and I had to explain to my husband what was happening with me. And he said, do you want to see the doctors? I said, I don't think so. I think we can still manage it or whatever. So what am I trying to say? Be there for one another. When your spouse, does not feel like maybe being romantic and all of that, and you know them better than anyone, maybe there's something to it. Are you trying to understand? Or is it even you that is, making them lose it or whatever? But all these things you can only know when you talk about it. Surprise your partner with romantic gestures. Some partners may not like romantic gestures. You know your partner better than anybody. What do they like? What would tickle their fancy? What is that thing? You know them, so you can do that. If it's compliments, make sure you compliment them morning, afternoon. Kill them with compliments if possible. And expressions of love. Some men say, do I have to say I love you all the time? Don't you know that I love you? But women, we like to hear these things. It makes, it produces some hormones in us, as they say. We love to hear. Who is it that you tell I love you that will frown? Even if they are frowning before, you just say that, they will melt, and these things are necessary. And for husbands, who's finding it hard to always say I love you, try. Even if it's once a week, try. With time, you will get used to saying it all the time. When you finish her with I love you, she'll be wondering, this man wants something, or something, surprise them. Do something you haven't done for them before. Be creative, keep the romance alive. Get new lingeries. Do what you have to do. Sometimes some people have found it hard, especially when women have given birth. Sometimes things change in their body that they can't even explain, and it becomes a major problem. Don't just sit on it. Find help. Seek the help of a specialist to deal with these things. That's why I said, when you're sick, you go to your doctors. When your car is broken down, you go to the mechanic. When you need education, you go to the teacher to teach you and all of that. So when it comes to certain aspects of marriage, there are professionals who can help you out. Seek their help instead of suffering in silence. So I'll leave that there. I want to quickly finish the talk. Again, build strong friendship. If your spouse is not your friend, who is your friend? Who is your friend? Cultivate a deep friendship relationship with your partner. Enjoy shared interests, hobbies, activities that will strengthen your bond. Find something that you have in common. And even if it's something you don't have in common, encourage your spouse to come and do this with you. Maybe they might just like it. You never can tell. Again, practice forgiveness. For that love to keep going in that marriage, you have to learn to forgive. Because they will offend, your offense will come. It will never stop coming. Whether you plan for it or you don't plan for it, it's going to come. So you have to practice forgiveness because it's very essential in marriage. Otherwise, nobody will last 1 month because you will offend one another. Let go of grudges and move forward together. Understand that both of you are not perfect. You will make mistakes. So where does that leave you when you cannot forgive your spouse? Please have that heart. Even when you're upset, sometimes you might have to do shakara like let them know how much they've hurt you, but you know what I'm talking about. With time, you have to let it go and, let that love come back and strengthen both of you. Forgive them. Learn to forgive them because offense will come. Then the role of faith and spirituality. I have to put this because, like I said, God created marriage that I know of. And I have to talk about this, the role of faith and spirituality to strengthen that love and marriage we're talking about. So for many people, faith and spirituality play a significant role in their marriage. It can provide a shared sense of purpose and a framework for values and behavior. My husband is a Christian, I'm a Christian. The word of God says we should submit to one another. Husband, love your wife. Wife, submit to you. All those word of God, we share that together and we study the word and we believe in that word. It's our guide, it's our guide to live in this marriage, God-fearing way. We share the same value, the biblical values, and this kind of helps shaping our behavior. We know when not to, like I said, I was talking about forgiveness. When we sin, ask for forgiveness. Don't just shy away from it. They should understand moments of weakness, or everybody blame the devil. Devil is at fault, and no. So some people, their faith and their spirituality can help contribute to flaming that love that they have, so that their marriage can be enhanced. Their shared belief, having a common faith, can bring partners closer and provide a sense of unity and purpose. Imagine when your spouse does something wrong, you can say, go and read Malachi 10:10. Go and read. And once they read, they know what you're talking about because you're speaking the same language. Okay, let's just do this. I'm here. I had to do the verification for TikTok. Thank you. Thank you for liking the live. So again, spiritual practices, engage in spiritual practices together, such as prayers, meditation, or attending religious services that can strengthen the bond between the two of you. So for us, we go to church together, we pray and fast together, and this can strengthen the bond. When you come, especially maybe when there's a need in the family, everyone has tried their best, it's not forth happening, can come together, pray and fast together, and just trust God to take control of that situation because you have a shared faith, shared faith and spirituality. So it could be a Muslim to a Muslim. You know what you do, at least you speak the same language when you talk about faith. And again, moral guidance. Faith often provides moral guidance and ethical guidelines that can help partners navigate challenges and make decisions. I'll say to my husband, it is well. With God, all things are possible. That's all I need to say. And he understands because, That is our moral guide, as we know. Proverbs 3:5 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Let's trust God with all our heart. We speak that language. We help each other, through that challenging times, especially when you want to make decisions. You can seek the face of God together. Ask the Holy Spirit together, for Christians, what is the Holy Spirit saying to you? And say, my dear, this is what the Holy Spirit is saying. The same thing he told me, it kind of bonds you guys together, and that love will definitely grow because you want to hear more together. You want to have the same faith at all times together. And I'm just going to say this here. One of the challenging things for people of faith is to believe, or we shy away from the belief that our spouse can actually backslide. And this is the word that you share in common that you can easily use to kind of help bring them back and pray for them as well. So let's be careful with that. Finally, I can't wait to hear from you guys. So in conclusion, marriage and love are deeply intertwined. You can't leave one out from the other, each enriching and supporting the other. Marriage comes love, love comes marriage, eventually. Love provides the foundation for a committed and fulfilling marriage, while marriage offers a framework for love to grow and flourish. That's I'm like, whatever experiment you want to experiment, do it with your husband, do it with your wife, and stay in there. Do your experiment together. Even if the partner is not willing to do the experiment now, give them time, be nurturing it, and then reintroduce it another time. You never can tell, as long as we're respectful and we're mindful of one another. God will help us. God will help us by prioritizing the relationship, communicating effectively, showing appreciation, and supporting each other. Partners can cultivate a love that endures, okay, and thrive over time. It's very, very important. We need to show appreciation. We need to communicate effectively, in a constructive way. Talk about things constructively. Support one another. Be each other's person. That song, who's your guy? Let your spouse be your guy, whether man or who's your guy. Don't come and be mentioning somebody somewhere in one town, in one village. Meanwhile, your spouse is just beside you. You're going to hurt their feelings. Damilola, I see you. So this is where I'm going to stop tonight. And my prayer is that may all our marriages be filled with love, with commitment, with joy, with respect in Jesus' name. That's my prayer. And if you're having any issues in your marriage at the moment, please talk about it with your spouse. Sometimes you might need a third party to hear. Be careful when you do that, okay? The first person to talk to when there are issues is your spouse. And if they're not in the frame of mind to hear anything, give them time, space, don't load it by force you must hear, by force you must do this. Maybe once upon a time I used to do that, but with time I got to know that it wasn't helping. I learned to say my piece and find my way. Let them process it. Let them think about it. Because the more you're loading it and saying, and they're not even hearing, you're aggravating them some more. They get angry some more and they're not even listening, and then there's no solution. So let's be mindful. Thank you, Teacher Johnny. Thank you so much. So one of the most important question that came to mind when I was preparing for this is what I'm going to ask us today, aside what we want to contribute as well. So if you're ready to contribute, please send your invite. I want to hear from you when we talk about marriage and love. So my question really today is, can love fade between a husband and wife if not nourished? Or is it once in love, forever in love? Can love fade between a husband and wife if not nourished? Or is it once in love, forever in love? I really want to hear from us today, guys. Send me an invite. Oh.
How are you?
I'm fine, teacher. How are you today?
I'm good.
Happy
I've
July.
been. I was listening to you. You're doing giving us great analysis on the
Thank you.
conversation.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
You're welcome. So the floor is for everyone now. I've given my talk. Let's hear from you. What's your take on this topic?
Uh, all right. Well, the first of all, I like the fact that you did a good combination of love and marriage, right? And just like Frank Sinatra sang in a song, he said, "Love and marriage they go together like a horse and carriage.
Yes.
You can't have one without the other,
Yeah.
right?" So, but the thing about it is that anything, just know that anything that has a beginning has the potential to have an end.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Anything. My friend Ty is in the house.
Oh, welcome, Ty.
Anything that has a beginning potentially can have an end. That's why you've seen people who get into relationships, and if it doesn't work out, they break up. So that breakup is the end of that relationship. So the same can also happen to. Well, before I go into my next thought, why did they break up? They broke up because whatever it is that they were sharing,
Yeah.
they were no longer seeing those things as necessary to be shared any longer.
Yeah.
So they stopped sharing it, and then it ended. So therefore, the love that was in that particular relationship
Yeah.
had a seizure. In other words, it ceased. It had a cessation. It stopped. But let's go a little bit further into the conversation of the fact that now there's a nuptial tie, there's a marriage, there's a union of two people who have become one.
Yeah.
Um, if you do not nurture something that has life, right? What happens?
Yeah,
The
damn.
chances are that exactly the nurture is that you put into a relationship is a lot of intentionalities. I like the fact that you were talking a lot about, when you get to have you were talking about when you're upset with each other, you're angry with each other, how do you handle conflicts?
Yeah.
And a lot of times people do not separate situations from people.
Okay.
You have to understand that it's not the person, it's the issue. So people in marriage should learn to tackle issues than tackle each other. So they tend to leave the the issue and launch at each other. And when they go at each other, what people don't know is when a verbal assault or insult or word leaves your mouth towards someone else, it can never be retracted. It's gone. It's
Wow.
it's gone.
It's
It's
gone the
gone.
damage or the good.
It's
Yeah.
gone. The other person has received it, has filed it away. Whether there is forgiveness or no forgiveness, that thought, that word that left you to that person is there. It will, except that person develops amnesia, some kind of mental problem where he forgets, it's forgetful as well, has become forgetful. As long as he's alive, there's forgiveness, there's okay, you know what, I'm sorry I said that. Yes, I understand that, but the truth is that word was gone.
Yeah.
So it is incumbent on people in relationships to do their utmost to do a lot of work on their tongues, both men and women.
It is very.
That's why that That's why we have to learn the psychology of dealing with issues rather than the person.
Yeah.
When you see people launch at each other, it's because they do not understand that it's not the person's. So they launch at the person, and then they get frustrated. They get frustrated at the situation, but not handling the situation and trying to handle the person. And in handling the person, you can't really handle a person, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking from experience. I don't know if I've shared this with you before. I was in a previous marriage. I was in that marriage for 20 years, and some of the things that I endured were verbal abuses. There were, I've been. I remember a time I was in Texas. We had just moved to Texas, so we're staying with the family, and I think my wife and I had an upsetting situation. So while we're trying to deal with it, she was, having rows and all that. I realized, okay, we're both unreasonable. So I said, okay, you know what? Let's put a hold on this conversation. So I walked away, and then as I walked away, I went to the living room to where my family, because the person was staying with me, so my aunt, my mom's first cousin. So I went to the living room, and my aunt had a visitor. So I don't know if the situation was still boiling in her head, and she came down to the living room where my aunt and the visitor was and wanted to continue the situation. So my aunt was trying to tell her that, look, number one, I have a visitor. You guys should, relax. And I told her that I had said to her that we can talk about this later. And then she launched at me and then held my shirt and ripped it right in the presence of my aunt and the visitor. So you see, so those are some things that, even though she later became sorry for, it's something that even after divorce, I haven't forgotten.
Can you imagine?
You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
So now, let alone if I was still there, I may have still been holding the fact that, yeah, okay, fine, you said you're sorry, but I will still have that as a memory. So we should learn to understand that issues are issues, people are people. Then the next thought that I have is, when there's a conflict,
Yeah.
do not use the you conversation. You did this, rather than the you, make the person know how what is being done is how making you feel. So points to you, letting them know, I feel hurt when this is said. It's more of how you feel. So if except that person is narcissistic, except that person is hard-hearted or strong-headed, they would not want to hurt your feelings. But when you are launching at you, then there's going to be a retaliation, because when you are fighting one person, there's always going to somebody will want to retaliate. But when you point the finger back to yourself and making them realize this is how you feel based on the conversations that we had, it will temper the situation more than have it as an accusatory fight. So that works better in the areas of voicing your hurts. And then, just like you rightly said, if matters cannot be treated, with peace at the time, drop it. Again, drop the issue. Deal with each other as lovers, married people, as if there is no
That's
issue.
hard. That's
You
a hard
understand?
thing. It's very
No, no.
hard.
It listen. It takes understanding, because if you see it as the issue, you are not going. The persons are still going to be okay.
Yeah.
The persons are still going to be okay. The issue is still on ground, but drop the issue. That's why I'm hammering on the issue. Drop the issue. The issue is a very sore issue. You guys are not resolving the issue because it is. Drop it, but attend to each other as lovers and as married people, regardless of the fact that that issue has not been resolved. But then, when you now go back maybe to the comfort of your quiet bedroom, where emotions are down,
Yeah.
whoever, husband or wife, doesn't matter, because sometimes wives have this attitude like, oh, if my husband doesn't bring it up, then Mitchell will not bring it up. That's childishness. That's childishness. Sometimes, and I'm going to say this about my gender, sometimes we can be very babyish, and because sometimes we don't want to have, we don't want to fight, but then but then your gender, you are wishing that we can take this, the step to make that correction, and but because you are more interested in, I want this resolved, I don't want to go to bed, feeling this, letting this thing behind, like, this revelation where God's word said, do not let the sun go down on your wrath. A
Yeah.
lot of people think that they're saying, do not let your anger
Yeah.
go to the next day,
Yeah.
but that's not what that scripture says. If you read it properly, it says, do not let the sun go down. What that simply means is, don't let it reach evening.
Mm. Mm.
So it has nothing to do with being sent to the next day. It just simply means, within that day, deal with it. So by the time it gets to evening, by eve at least, do not let it reach evening. Okay? Or, most likely, try as much as possible to settle it within the space of 1 to 6 hours, and make sure it's done. That's by scriptural standing.
Yeah.
So, but the whole, let's don't let it go to the next day, no, that's not what it says. It says, do not let the sun go down. The sun going down is meaning that the sun is setting into evening, right? So let's not allow those things to get to a point, because at night time or at evening time, that's when we want to relax. That's when we want to, kick each other's legs on the sofa or the pillow, and just talk shop, and talk about how our days were, our days went, and you know the love situation is a very interesting thing, because by biblical standard, love is supposed to be a new thing every day.
It's
But
supposed
because,
to be, quote and unquote.
yes, let me tell you why it's not. Let me tell you why it's not. Because we have become too familiar with each other.
Yes, I said that. Yeah.
We have become too familiar. Never in a relationship let yourself and your spouse never let your relationship between yourself and yourself become too common. In your eyes, the next day is a fresh day, fresh emotion, fresh feelings, fresh love, whatever it is that you had yesterday. Yesterday's love is gone. How I loved you yesterday, I by
Renewed.
today by today I have to love you better. I have to love you new. I have to love you like I didn't love you yesterday, because today is today. And by the time today is over and the next day comes, it's a new day. The steadfast love of the Lord. If the steadfast love of the Lord, it doesn't change and it's new every morning, this are we not children of the Lord? We come from Him. Scripture says we are gods, all of us children of the Most High. So if this is how God operates, then we should replicate
That.
our Father. We should replicate our Father in our relationship. Now, do situations happen where, I mean, like I've been a victim of a divorce. Do situations happen where things uh, do happen and there could be no resolution? Yes, it does.
Yes.
Um, um, sometimes we get to that point where we have tried so much to see how resolutions can happen. We've tried so much, third parties have been involved, and possibly maybe we've asked, let's try, like in my case, I remember when we were in LA, where it was so bad, it was really so bad that I contacted a church. It wasn't a church I was attending, but it was a church that they were um, saying that if you're not a member of the church, you can give like a seed offering to the church, and they would give you access to their marriage counselors. But if you're a member of the church, it's a free service. So because I was not a member, I had secured a date that I was going to come do that. So I went to speak to her to say to her, look, we're having so much problem. I've done this. Do you mind if we go? And the next thing she was saying was that, well, that's what you know to do. You want to take out, you want to go air our dirty laundry, and so when you see that you've tried so much and then it's not working, but then the more you try, the more insults you're getting, the more you are hurt, the more you're getting sick in your body. Because I developed high blood pressure, something that I'm still suffering till today. um, at some point, enough tends to become enough. And you want peace. There's believe me, there's nothing as sacrosanct as peace. There's absolutely nothing as, and I'm not talking about peace for just one person.
No, no,
Peace
no.
for
Oh,
both of you.
yes,
Peace
definitely.
for both of you. You
Definitely.
want to be able to enter into your home and you breathe an air that is peaceful. I want to be, your husband will want to come into his house and breathe an air that is peaceful. Look into your eyes and he can gently kiss your lips. And the things that, as he does that, it communicates something to you beyond words. It is magical. It is sacred. So if that can be in place,
That
it would
that will help.
it will annihilate the need for all the rancors. But we just see that as time goes on, two people become, you're used to each other. You because it's you're common. You is it not Johnny? Is it not Sarah? Is it not Like? Is it not
Over familiarity. Yeah.
that by the time you get to the point where your love or your relationship is now a familiarity, there is no longer regard for the relationship. Love starts to die.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. And this is the moment love dies.
Mm. It's hard. It is.
The moment love dies, where it no longer has life, especially in that relationship, chances are that it may never live again. Sometimes there could be resuscitation. Sometimes there could be jumping. You know
Yep.
how you go to hospital where you
Jump
you
start.
put
Yeah.
you jump it. Sometimes, but if you put that shocker and you do the jumping and there's no longer, it's completely asystolic. That's it. That's it. you know I had three kids
Okay.
in the relationship. The three kids, the children became weapons, and that's a tendency for what people start to do when it now becomes a bad situation. If their children, one party tends to want to use it as a weapon against the other, knowing that, okay, either the father or the mother, they love their kids. You now use those children as weapons. People never get You never recover from some of those. Sometimes there are some people who are traumatized with those things for so long. It takes it takes the grace of God for somebody to actually come out of that thing without
Yeah.
having PTSD, traumatic episodes in their lives. Because the children is both your lives. Like someone said, a child is the essence of you and me.
Mm.
So it's like you are taking me away from me. You understand? You are stealing me away from me. Because that, I know you are in there, but me too, I'm in there. So if you are trying to take me away from, why don't we go our separate ways, but talk about how we can have equality in the kids? It's there's no there's it's not uncommon. Even in the Bible, there's people divorced. Some people divorce amicably. Some people go in their separate ways and say, you know what, at least let's do it without any rancor. Let's do it without any problem. But that's because the love is dead. But if that dies, it doesn't mean you cannot remain acquaintances. You cannot remain respectful. There's this movie that I watched. I'm sure you've seen the movie before, Troy. Have you seen Troy? Where they were fighting this war, trying to, this young guy went to steal the queen from another kingdom. and then the king
Amazing.
decided he's going to go and get another country, Greece, to go and fight the kingdom of Troy to get Helen back. Anyway, in the process of fighting, one of the enemy warrior, his name was Achilles. Achilles had to go challenge the head warrior of Troy, and the head warrior of Troy's name was Hector.
Okay.
Hector was killed by Achilles. And then Achilles, now what he did was he disgraced the that Hector by dragging his dead body, on his chariot all the way back to his camp.
Yeah.
Now here's where it gets interesting. The father, who was the king of Troy, King Priam, snuck out in the night and came to Achilles and demanded the body of his son, because the proper thing is after he's killed I mean, people die in combat. After he's killed, he's supposed to give his body back to the kingdom for the proper burial, right? And he did not do that, so he violated the rules of war. So what Achilles, here's where I'm going. Achilles got upset and told King Priam and said, you are still my enemy. You're still my enemy by the next morning. King Priam now told him, he said, but you are still my enemy tonight. He now said, but even enemies know how to show each other respect. That line in that movie was one of my best lines. Was one of my best lines.
Wow. Okay.
That even enemies know how to show each other respect. So at the point he said that, right, King Achilles now released the body, to the father for him to go get. What am I saying in essence? You can be, you can fall out of love because, however it is that I don't even want to go into details of what can cause that, because that's going to take,
So many
you know.
years ago.
But the truth is, what I'm saying in essence is to answer your question. Yes, love. The ideology of marriage should be once in love, forever in love. But the truth is, that's not a life reality. That's not a life reality. And I'm an example of that. Have I remarried? Yes, I have. And in remarrying, I have come to learn that funny enough, it's still the same old me. It's still the same person that was in the previous relation that's here. But I'm with a different person. I've not changed much characteristically, but what I've realized is that this person that I'm with now is understanding that, okay, this is his personality. I learned to understand his personality, and then I now have to learn this person's personality and act and live in, not contradicting or contraindicating ourselves based on how our characteristics and our temperaments are. I'm very extroverted. She's very ambiverted. Her ambivertedness simply is that she's in between.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but her higher tendency is introvertedness. Now she gets extroverted when she wants to probably do something online, or she wants to hang out with friends, but most in general she's very introverted. So we have to understand ourselves, understand our traits, and not take each other for granted. By the time we start and we begin to take each other for granted, what we are beginning to do is we are beginning to deflate the air of love.
Yeah. That's true.
Once the air of love, once the air of love is completely flat out deflated, it's more expensive, it's difficult, and some people just say, what, I think enough just has to be enough at this point. Is it the right way to go? I would honestly tell you, no, it's not. But those things happen, and we should guard against, and of course, like you rightly said, faith is a key, a key thing. I almost made a mistake, after my divorce. I almost made a mistake to go be with someone who is agnostic, and someone who is agnostic is someone who is in between being an atheist and being a believer. So, like, right in between. I mean, today they believe in God, tomorrow they don't. So But so, and then there is no faith life. There's no life of faith. So I initially I didn't care because of the hurt, coming out of, a marriage with somebody who is supposedly a Christian, right? So at the time I really did not care. I was like, I didn't care. But I had a visitation from God, and God, he really visited me and said to me, um, it's not your fault. You know how people say God hates divorce? God came and told me that
Yeah.
I may hate the divorce, but I don't hate you.
Mm,
So when he told me that, it brought me back to life. So
mm,
since then, I've always been telling people God may hate divorce, but he does not hate the divorcee.
Thank you for in fact, you've expanded even the topic way, way, way broader. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's amazing, the reason why I asked the question is, can love fail between a husband and wife if not marriage, or is it once in love, forever in love? Now, one of the things I mentioned is it takes effort. You have to be deliberate, and the fact that both of you walk down that aisle, nobody pointing that to your head to say I do. That means you have a lot of things in common. And all we know that issues of life would come. If
Yeah,
one party is willing to make peace and the other party not willing to make peace, it becomes so, so difficult. We
yeah,
see cases like that. Even couples that have to go their separate ways, or maybe after 5, 6 years, they're able to separate. Some still manage to come back together. Kudos to those, but it doesn't always happen that way.
yeah,
So we need to be mindful. The moment we're in that marriage relationship, that's why I always say marriage is not for boys and girls. It's for matured man, mature woman. Because if not, there's some things that would happen to some other party. They look at it as baby stuff, and yet you're killing each other over that thing. So if you're not mature enough, it might actually break you before the make of you. So it's a very sensitive thing, marriage. And one thing that I'll still stand on is God knows it's a good thing. God knows it's a good thing. That's why He created it.
yeah,
We don't do what we're supposed to do, and that's why
yeah,
we don't get that result of a good,
yeah,
life. I've heard
yeah,
of people who they've been married for 60 years. Sometimes I'm like, how? So if you
yeah.
hear that, that means it can be achieved. It can be
Oh yeah,
done.
oh yeah,
But then
absolutely.
how many people in a marriage will self reflect to actually say, I'm the problem in this relationship? Let me
Yeah,
change my ways. Because everybody wanting to prove, okay, they're the right person, you're always wrong, or the other factor, the man is always right, the man being the head. There's so many things the society, people have brought in that is not helping us to fan the flame of love.
yeah,
Especially in this part of the world that I'm in, people believe government is now the wings on which the women ride. If you see me too, and I'm not happy with you, I just call the police. So there's a lot of interference that people are allowing to break their homes up. And one
yeah,
thing they're forgetting is, especially marriages where you have children, these children
yeah.
are looking at what is going on. You're teaching them this way of life, which is not
Bottom
the
line, that is
ideal.
exactly it. That's
And
it.
these children will grow up to have somebody be their spouse. How would they treat that person?
Yeah,
Because they haven't learned the right way to dealing with, such. So
yeah,
if care is not taken, we're just going around in circle with the negativity, to marriage, which is not ideal, it's not good. My prayer and my hope is that we all learn and do better. It takes two to tango. When one partner is trying to make peace and the other one is trying to make war, how will there be peace? We all need to strive to make peace. Your partner is not perfect. I'm not perfect. If my husband were to sit down here now and lecture you about FunmiRoyal, and if I sit down to lecture you about him, we're not perfect. We're not perfect at all. But we have to learn, to do better by the day. Because otherwise, like I say, the challenges of life is more than enough. We're not supposed to fight each other when those challenges come. We're supposed to fight. the challenge together. But like you said, people don't know how to separate issues from the person. And
Yeah.
that's why we always have problems. And I just hope that people, watching and listening today can take on something on board today and work at their relationship because it's meant to be enjoyed, like I say, not endured. When you feel your spouse has done something wrong, you might be living in the same house, and what you know will work will be a text message to your spouse. Do it.
Yeah.
Just do it for the sake of peace. You say, we're in the same house, you're texting me, da da da, because they know you. By the time you start talking, nobody else can hear again. So if it's text message that works, just do it. At least
Yeah.
that is the most effective way you're communicating. Let it be so. Rather than not communicate at all, or rather than facing each other to the point of getting physical. We don't want that. We don't want
Absolutely
that.
not.
Because the moment you
Yeah.
get physical, that means the partner will start living in fear. And that is going to erode the love over time.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I know it is hard, but it can be achieved. It can be achieved.
Absolutely. You
Sometimes we
can.
have to, let ourselves. That was why I mentioned sacrificial love. It has to be. It's not all the time you want to lash out. You should lash out. That's where the maturity comes in, because
Yeah.
your spouse will do things that in your mind you've probably done that, but you're still holding yourself in the physical world, if you get
Yeah.
me. But we shouldn't
Yeah.
allow people, to get to that. You wanted to say something, teacher?
Yeah. I was going to say that it's that time where before you say something, think. You
Yeah,
know.
and
You
we
know.
don't all the time.
That split second of before you say it, ask. It's kind of like have a reverse feeling like this thing that I'm about to say. If
Hmm.
it is said to me,
How
it,
would
it's that split second I want to say this, but if that thing is said to me, how
mm,
will I feel?
mm-hmm,
So if you can arrive at the judgment of, say you just have a quick role play in your head that
quickly.
person that you're about to say that to
Yeah.
says it to you, how would that thing that you're about to say, if
Mm,
it's said to you, make you feel?
mm.
If you can get your answer honestly, and it will make you feel, it would destroy you, it would
Then
hurt you,
do it. Just,
then
just
let
swallow
that,
it.
just immediately swallow it.
Just
And
swallow it. Don't
you
even
know,
don't even bring it out. Just words,
the yeah,
words are like egg. The moment it comes out, that's it.
that's it. That's it.
That's
That's what
it.
people don't know, and a lot of times people don't realize that they have in their partners a
Mm,
vault, a bank of words that
mm-hmm,
have been saved.
mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes, let me say this, I'm sorry does not fix everything.
Yeah, yeah. I believe.
Sometimes I'm sorry
Yeah.
is not enough.
Especially when it's a slang of yours. You always say that, but you don't mean it.
It's at some points, I'm sorry means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely nothing. There are times where you wonder, aren't you sorry for what you said? I remember, I remember there was something that happened in my previous relationship, and I was wondering why she wasn't apologizing, because I was thinking if she just had apologized, I may have let it go.
Mm,
So she didn't apologize, and then I was asking her, I said, "What do you think you didn't do wrong?" She said, "Well, I did how I felt." I said, "Don't you think you should be sorry for it?" And then the next thing she said was, "Am I demanding an apology?" So I
wow.
was like, "Wow."
These are things that happens here in the
So
relationship. I hear you.
I thought I didn't have to demand it.
Mm,
I didn't have to demand it, but if it took me demanding it, then you should know that it was a very hurtful situation. But
wow.
the sorry never came, and that was part of my file away. you know, you know.
Thank
But
you, teacher, for sharing your real life experience. And I know
no,
that definitely people
I
out
do
there can
that.
relate.
I do that because it's a real situation. I've come to realize, one, men are not easy with vulnerability.
No. Mm-mm.
They have they have this what we call the I'm cool syndrome.
Mm.
Rather than learn to be vulnerable, they stash away their vulnerability with the I am cool, but meanwhile they are dying on the inside.
Yes.
So I have learned that long time ago.
I
When
can
I am cool, believe me, I'm cool. When I have to be vulnerable, I don't hesitate, especially in my teaching or in my training sessions. Because listen, people have to be able to connect
yeah.
with you
Mm-hmm.
via real life experience and also empathy, because these
You
are
know
some.
what, teacher? What you just said
Yes,
now,
yes,
when men can truly, I know situations are never ideal. When men can truly be vulnerable with their wives,
yeah.
honestly, that love triples. Because
Ah,
we are vulnerable. We know that. For a
yes.
man, that means you trust me with the totality of you, and they will cherish that and be there for you. The
There's a
love and respect
downside.
will grow.
There's a downside.
Yeah,
The
well,
downside.
yeah.
The downside is the man is vulnerable, but the woman sees him as weak. So
Not
he
all,
stops.
not in
No,
all
no, no.
cases.
That's why I said it's a down. But the woman sees him as weak. So
Not
he
all,
stops.
not in
No, no,
all
no.
cases.
That's why I said it's a downside. It's not all. It's not all. But it is.
Some,
It's
yeah, some
it's a
marriages.
downside that happens. And when it happens, what he does is he locks up, and then you don't see that part of him anymore.
Mm,
And then when that happens, there's something looming that is very dark.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It, it's very I don't know the word to use for it. Marriage relationship can take you to some dark places. I know that. I know that. I
yeah,
know that. But at the same time, you know how like we are now, you have the morning, you have the day. You have light, you have darkness. You can
yeah,
choose to be angry and you can choose to go for peace. So the
yeah,
choice at the end of the day still lies within us. We have the choice. You know something is definitely wrong in this relationship. How are
yeah.
you handling it? Are you adding more fire to the flame? Or are you trying to quench the flame to make sure peace comes?
Yes,
There's always a lot on us because we have chosen to go into this relationship. Whether it works, whether it breaks, is on the two of us. Is on the two of us because it takes two to tango. I
it
am not
takes two.
married to myself. If I was married to myself, maybe I might be happier or I might be even more miserable. I don't know. So as long as it's two in this boat, we need to talk, we need to love, we need to respect, we need to be accommodating, we need to be tolerant because um, everybody grew up in a different environment. You don't know. Look at the situation we're talking about. The children are now with this mindset and they have their own spouse who also have a different mindset. Now we're sitting together to live, and then all of these attributes, all of these behaviors start coming out. And you're wondering, I never saw this, I never, or should that be the end of that marriage? You have to learn to cope with whatever baggage or baggage is the wrong thing. Because there's no
Absolutely.
perfect person out there. There is, even if you leave this person, you meet the next person, what is the guarantee that they're going to be perfect to you? You still have to put in the work.
Yeah,
We have to put in the work to see the result. Even for us as Christians, it says prayer without work.
yeah,
We have to put in the work to see the result. Even for us as Christians, it says prayer without works is dead.
yeah. Says
You
watch and pray.
you have to work and then you see the result.
Yes.
Otherwise, we're just wasting each other's time.
Yeah.
Amazing. See, we got so carried away. I forgot to take my puzzle. So I think we should pipe down a bit. Thank you so much. I really
You're
appreciate your
welcome.
contribution.
You're welcome.
So maybe teacher, you might be able to answer this puzzle today, just to breathe. So, what is the best way to get a message to God? What is the best way to get a message to God? People tried last week, but they didn't get it. So maybe you can think about it. Let's see if there's any other person waiting on there. Guys, you can
Yes.
send an invite. We still have a bit of time to talk about this topic today, marriage and love. And if you want to answer the puzzle, You still have to come to the box because I need to give you your gift. What is the best way to get a message to God? Hmm. Let's think about it. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you for taking the lights off. Do you wanna try, teacher? You wanna try?
Yeah, I'll try. Give it a shot.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, now,
What is the best way to get a message to God?
well, first of all, know one thing, that God is in you, right?
Okay.
And if it's in you, um, right there, someone that is in you is close to you, so you can't be too far to
Okay.
get that message right to
So,
him right
so
there.
yeah, teacher. I said we've been talking seriously for the last. So I want us to kind of relax a bit. So this is a puzzle, and you're still bringing that seriousness into the puzzle.
Oh, no, no, I was trying to answer the question though.
Okay, let's.
What's the best way to get a message to God?
Mm-hmm.
Mm, get a message to God.
Safety, thanks for joining. I see you. T Mara,
Uh,
see you.
I'm sure you have the answer. Is there any way we can spy?
Okay, maybe I have to give you a bit of clue because whichever way I'm going to tell us the answer to. I don't know. I don't know if you have African origin in you.
I do.
Okay. You know, way back when when the king wants to send message to the people, there's somebody called town crier.
Town crier. Yeah, I do.
Ah, so he will go and cry and all of that. And as advancement keep coming, there's
Yeah.
a way to get message across to people. We have social media. I think I'll stop there. So, what is the best way to get a message to God? And I mean, to God, you have to be a believer. You pray. You do certain things. By the time I say you know, I don't want to let the clue too much, but the best way to
Eh,
get a message to God is how? How?
and I don't know again. No, I think.
It's very funny. We have about 9 minutes to go, and I want to
Okay.
see if we've done justice to this topic. I mean, the best we can. But in fact, both of us gave the talk today. Let me see. There's one or two people that I saw, but I think they might
Yeah.
not be able to speak where they are because I saw Sir J Law. He's probably finishing work or driving or something. Because normally when he comes, they're like, my sister, I'm just driving to the house. And I said, okay, I understand. Sir J Law, a shout out to you. Thank you so much for always coming to support. So, this topic, marriage and love, it's very important, it's very sensitive, it's very crucial. We know that whoever our spouse is, all the four kinds of love that I mentioned, we need to show to them. You will take your
Mm-hmm.
spouse as your lover, your brother, your friend, and the other one, what's the surrogate love that exists within family. Yeah, brother, and you have to be selfless with one another, regardless of your gender, whether you're the man or the woman. We're supposed to love each other because some will say, after all, they say men love your wife, is women should submit. So are you telling
That's
me the
nonsense.
woman should not love the husband?
That's nonsense.
You
That's
know, they
nonsense.
just twist things to key. And
Yes,
you know, they
it's
always ignore that verse before. I think it's 21 that says submitting one to another. They never read that bit. I don't understand.
the part that really gets me is where they say, "Oh, the Bible never said for a woman to love the husband." I thought,
Hmm.
what in the world are you even talking about?
I don't understand. I don't understand.
And then I now said, did the Bible have to say that?
Please. No, because it didn't spell it out. In fact, one of those kind of one that gets me upset is when they say women are the weaker vessel. I'm like, please. Even the thought of
Yeah,
that alone, you talk about the physique of a man, the physique of a woman. Each
yeah,
of them are vessels. One is kind of stronger in terms of physical, and then they will turn it to be something else. So we are vessels. One is kind of stronger in terms of physical, and then they will turn it to be something else. So women are weaker vessels, they should be punished. I don't know. They just say all sorts. Anyway, that's another talk for another day. But what I'm trying to say is that
People don't know what they are saying.
no, they just say things to suit them at that time, but they don't know that they're misleading a lot of people. Your spouse is your brother, your spouse is your sister. So how you will treat your sister, treat your spouse that way. Trying to break down the kind of love we're supposed to have for one another. You cannot just call your sibling now, your brother or your sister, and talk to them anyhow without respect, whether they're
Hmm.
younger or older. So why do you feel the need to disrespect your spouse? And it goes either way, because I don't like saying men or women. It goes either way. So you must have that familiar love for your partner, for your spouse as well. And
Correct,
then when
correct.
you're talking about unconditional love, you have to be selfless. Some people, imagine, I think I saw this clip some time ago. I'm mindful of the time. This husband sat at the dining table, and the wife had prepared the meal and served the husband. And then the mother came with the local dish and brought it and said, "Carry this nonsense away. My son must eat my food." And then there was talk of war between mother and wife. And I'm like, this is just so immature.
So unnecessary.
Oh my, and then the man sat there, I think he was enjoying that because he just sat there, he wasn't saying anything.
The man does not have an understanding of marriage. If
Oh my God.
for him to actually sit there and not tell the mother her place, then he does not know anything. He's still a mother's boy. He's still a mommy's
And I
boy.
wonder, this mother that is doing that, did your own mother-in-law come to your own house to do that to you? They say,
The
do
one I
unto
saw,
others as you wish them do unto you. There's a lot of things wrong. There's a lot
for
of
me, for
things.
me, the one I saw was when it was a car situation.
Oh, to sit in
You
front.
know, and the husband was confused. Number one, if the mother had gotten into the car first, right,
Mm,
the wife maturity would let her stay, but
yes.
there was that dragging, that was happening, and usually what I could have done is I could have come out of the car, speak to her, say, look, mama is already in. Just be mature about it. Don't worry. It's
Yeah,
our car.
it's fine. We can
It's our
understand
car.
that.
You
Yeah.
understand? But let's say the wife had taken her place in front, then the mother now comes out and says,
Come
it's
out.
my son's, come out, it's my son's. I will tell mama, it's either you go to the back or you go back inside.
Oh, period.
Two
But
things.
that's
One,
how many men can decide
yes,
that.
Mama. One thing. One is either you want to go with us by going to the back of the car, or you don't want to go, so go back inside. So let's decide that now. Say, hey, this car is not your car; it's her car, so she can sit anywhere. So if you had come in and sat in front first, maybe she would have allowed you. But now, sorry, ma, go to the back. It's a
Tika,
no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
as simple as this thing you have said, can actually break this couple up.
Of
They
course,
will now
it's a
escalate
no-brainer.
it. It will become a family member talk. It will become something else. And then at the end of the day, husband and wife will start fighting each other because of this simple thing.
It's a case of identity. They don't know who they are.
Oh my goodness. We need to be
If you know who
careful.
you are if you know your positions and your place, it's actually a no-brainer. People do not have that education
Hmm.
enough to know who they are and what is right and wrong to do. If you do, it's a no-brainer.
My goodness, God will help us because I still want to enjoy my marriage. So whatever I love peace. So I love my peace. Gone are the days when I used to be like, no, I must make this man understand this. Da. That's why I said 25 years has taught me. Imagine going for school for 25 years. Abba, you have to have learned something.
And the funny thing is they are giving you the certificate ahead.
I'm telling you, and then they tell you to go to the school. Meanwhile, all other institutions, we talked about this when we talked
And
about great decision. All
they
other
give you this,
institutions, if you
they've
don't
given you the
pass,
certificate ahead. So say take your certificate. Then you
if
now
you
go to
don't
school.
pass, they will not give you certificate in other
Yeah,
institutions.
yeah.
That one,
This one is they give you the certificate and tell you go and start classes.
Imagine
So,
marriage was to do like that. I don't think anybody will get that certificate. Oh. I don't think so because, oh my
the
goodness,
question will be at what point do you get it?
that's the thing. Hey, on the deathbed or when? When? I don't know. But it is well. God will continue to help us. So before I round up, I'll just tell us the answer to the puzzle. And I get to keep my gift for today. Thank you so much, teacher. In fact,
You're
you've
welcome.
you've made the talk so interesting today. And thank you guys that have joined in as well. I really, really appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. Manager, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for being there. And to everyone that has, dropped in and out, thank you so much for always coming to support. So my puzzle for today
All
is
right, let me learn from you today.
what is the best way to get a message to God? And we're talking about God, my God that I believe in. It is through a knee nail. So you have to kneel down and kneel it to him. Thank you. Thank So do you get it now, teacher?
We shouldn't go there.
It's through a knee
No,
nail.
I know. It's a joke. The riddle. I get it.
Oh
It's just
wow.
you know where the you know where the mind starts to go. Like, it's the only email that they can use to send message.
Oh yeah. Well, that's FunmiRoyal's answer. No other
No, I
answer.
understand. I
So,
understand, and that was
thank
clever.
you
That was
so
very
much.
clever.
I really,
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate your input today. And thank you guys, everyone that has tapped in, shared the live. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I will be coming your way on Monday when I'll be bringing another interesting topic. It might have to do with marriage and no. Just the general topics, we'll talk about that has to do with our day-to-day living. And we look for strategies to cope in. Thank you all so much for joining. Have a lovely Friday, wonderful weekend, and I'll see you back here on Monday. Thank you so much. Thank you, teacher.
Bye.
Have a nice day. Where is that song?
Bringing hope and make you feel alright.
Thank you so much, everyone. MK, I see you. Speaker Beecher, you're just joining. Thank you all the same. Yeah, I see you. Thank you, Sanja. Thank you.
Let the light that's within me shine to the whole world. Oh,
Manager, I see you. Thank you so much.
let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you on Monday at 6 p.m. UK time. God bless you.